All right, Jonathan, let's talk about tech birthdays.
Yes, this week, from the 2nd to the 8th, we have Reid Hoffman, who is known for LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Are you familiar with LinkedIn?
Yeah, I have one.
You have a LinkedIn profile?
Yeah.
So LinkedIn is kind of like the Facebook, but for business, you want to call it?
Yeah, for like people in specific industries.
Yeah. I mean, they're highly geared towards the technical industry,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the guys came up with a pretty good idea. I mean, I'm on there and you know, constantly connecting with people, or what do they call it? Linking,
Linking with people.
linking with people. So yeah, it's kind of it's a cool platform. I like it. He's done a lot of good stuff there. I don't know. Well, actually, no. You know what? I've actually gotten a couple of jobs. People have called me, contacted me through um, LinkedIn, and I've been offered a couple of jobs. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, Look at this. He's the state of the world at a large scale. So he formed a conviction that he wanted to try to influence the state of the world and on a large scale. He wanted to make an impact. Wow. And boy, he did with LinkedIn.
I mean, I feel like any kind of social media can make an impact on anyone, really. And that's what he did. Made a platform where
Do you
people.
do you feel like social media has been dumbed down with all the new platforms coming out?
um Dumbed down.
I mean, because you look at Facebook, right?
Uh-huh.
Facebook is pretty complicated. You can make friends, or you can friend someone, you can block people, you can decide who sees your post, you can decide who's going to be your friend. So you have to, like, it's a mutual acceptance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their whole security model, the way it comes together, it's like really complicated. You take something like Instagram, anybody can follow you. You cannot, I don't know if you can block people, can you?
Yeah, I think he could. Yeah.
Okay, but that's still pretty easy. But anyways, like, the only way that you can do it is like, well, I mean, there is some complexity to it. I'm not gonna play it down. I mean, just creating any type of platform. But I feel like the platforms have become very simple. Uh, I mean, there's not a whole lot to Instagram. Like, I feel like you can't really do anything complicated like you can with Facebook. Facebook, you can upload videos, you can upload pictures, you can tag people. They got facial recognition. They just got like a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a lot of complexity that it just overwhelms your typical user, and they need something simple like Instagram. I just want to record something and post it. It's like, post it so for the world to see. I don't care who sees it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like platforms like LinkedIn, you got to be a power user.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, you got to be a power user. YouTube, you got to be a super power user in order to operate Facebook. I mean, YouTube. But you got these simpler platforms that they're really easy to install on your phone. You just record, they takes over your camera and just upload your video, and stuff like that. Um, but I feel like some of these early social network um, platforms, they probably started off that easy and then just became like really complex over time.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. Like they could specify or like be more specified into something, and then they just kind of grow into more complicated things.
Definitely. So Riven has his own website other than here on Wikipedia. I guess he just keeps a blog, huh?
Okay.
Oh, does he have books?
Whoa.
What? No, these are books that
Oh yeah. He's recommended.
yeah.
It's not
The
free.
Startup of You, Intellectual Life. You can subscribe. LinkedIn Series B pitch. Oh, you know what? If you're starting a business, you can go and look at the B pitch.
That's cool. Wow.
Look at that.
4.
It was confidential back then. It's public now. Find and contact the people you need through the people you already trust. That's a bunch of baloney. I can go and link in with anybody. Cool. Who else
Cool.
we got?
Yeah. Next, we have Kevin Mitnick, who is born August 6th and who's known for being a hacker.
Yeah, he's actually a convicted hacker.
Whoa.
So there is, I wonder if there's a movie about him. I think there is a movie about him. Man, this guy, he knows, he knows how to like, you know, there's just, it's hard to explain how so many things that this guy got convicted for were so hard to convict him. It took the courts nearly 5 years to convict him on any of the crimes that they originally um, charged him with.
Wow.
And the only thing that they were able to convict him for, I believe, was possessing credit cards that weren't his. And not even the credit cards, just credit card numbers that weren't his. For whatever reason, you know, if you think of how security works, it works on based on algorithms, right? So let's take a credit card. Credit card is a 16-digit number, and those 16 digits have to go through what they call a mod 10 check. So it's just not just 16 sequential numbers like I get 4 1 1 1 1 1 all the way to 16 1, and then you get 4 1 1 1 1 1 all the way to 16, and then you get 2, right? That sequence doesn't even exist in credit cards. Those numbers have to go through what they call a mod 10 check, and so that mod 10 check, there's a formula that you would use, and so he discovered the formula, and he was able to figure out like when the next credit card number was going to come up, and the expiration dates and all this stuff.
Wow.
And so this is when they, credit card companies started getting a little bit smarter. They started putting a 3-digit security pin in the back of the card to make sure that that there was like multiple points, and then they added the zip code on top of that. That's why when you go to the gas station, you got to stick your card into the slot and then into your zip code. So you got to go through the credit card, 16 digits, mod 10 check. You got to go through an expiration. You got to go through a 3-digit security number that's located on the back of your card. And then also your zip code that is tied to the address of the account. So there's all these checks that were added because of Kevin Mitnick. He essentially was able to like use cellular phones without having to pay. Again, algorithms that they use to secure communications, they were very loosey-goosey with their security.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, this guy he like literally hacked the world, and the only thing that they were able to get him for was possession of credit card numbers. And I think some stolen items, but it took almost 5 years, and he was in jail the whole time while he was fighting his case. And so they basically gave him time served. They're like, just plead guilty, we'll give you time served. But that guilty plea ended up banning him from being able to work with computers for, I forget for how many years. I think it was like during the time he was on parole and time after, if I'm not mistaken. Now he can work with computers. I mean, he's a security advisor because a lot of that stuff hasn't changed.
Mhm.
I mean, you still have all these things that are working the way they did when they first came out. So he's familiar with how to hack them. And obviously, your best anti-hacker is going to be the person who has hacked already.
Yeah.
So he went from the dark side to the light side.
Or is he?
Hey, he's making money.
Yes.
If you're making money legitimately, you're a white hacker. Well, no, they call him a white hat hacker versus a black hat. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the FBI ended up just chasing him down. It was crazy. I mean, the article. Let's see here. So FBI arrested Mitnick on February 15, 1995, at his apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, on federal offenses related to 2.5-year period of computer hacking, which included computer and wire fraud. I think the wire fraud was because he was using the credit card. He was found with clone cellular phones, more than 100 clone cellular phone codes, multiple pieces of false identification. December 1987, the Yahoo website was hacked, displaying the message calling for Mitnick's release. According to the message, all recent visitors of Yahoo's website had been infected with a computer worm that would wreak havoc on Christmas Day unless Mitnick was released.
That's
So
pretty
he was okay. So here you go. He was eventually charged with wire fraud, possession of unauthorized access devices, 8 counts, interception of wire or electronic communication, unauthorized access to federal computer, and causing damage to the computer. So he hacked into the federal computer. He pleaded guilty to 4 counts of the wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud, and 1 count of illegally intercepting a wire communication as part of a plea agreement before the United States District Court for the Central District of California, Los Angeles. He was sentenced to 46 months in prison plus 22 months for violating the terms in his 1989 supervised release sentence for computer fraud. So yeah, so I mean, this guy, he hacked into Pacific Bell voicemail and others.
wow. They should make a movie about this guy if they haven't already.
I think they do have a movie. So there's in his book 2002, The Art of Deception, Mitnick states that he compromised computers solely by using passwords and codes that he gained by social engineering. He claimed he did not use software programs or hacking tools for cracking passwords or otherwise exploiting computer or telephone security. So that's like that to this day. This is a big thing. Social. This is why, like, having a Facebook profile, you have to be like super careful that what you put on there, none of that information is used for the security questions that you would use for like your bank account and stuff like that. Because it's like, what's one of the popular questions? What's your high school mascot? In your Facebook, all they got to do is go visit your Facebook, your public profile, and they're gonna like, hey, he went to such and such school. Oh, here's a mascot for that school, And so when somebody's trying to hack your bank account, they're gonna go through the social hacking, to get all that information. So, and that's they still use that today.
Yeah, wow.
So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, but there is a movie out. He wrote a book and there is a movie about this, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder. Let's see if we can find it. Kevin Mitnick movie.
Takedown.
Yep, there it is.
There it is, based on Kevin Mitnick.
Yep.
That's cool.
I think I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah.
Takedown. Cool. What else do we got?
All right.
Oh, wait. He's got a consulting company. The world's most famous hacker is on your side. Behind the scenes of most secure organizations in the world, Kevin Mitnick and his global Ghost team are there to provide an extraordinary advantage in the battle for real information security. Did you know that most corporate breaches are from the inside? 99% of most corporate breaches are from the inside. Employees.
Yeah.
So this is
it makes sense because like they would have all the information to easily hack it.
Yep. Cool. All right. Who else do we got?
Next, we have Jimmy Wales, who's known for Wikipedia.
So if Jimmy Wales did not exist, Wikipedia would not be what it is today.
Wow. Co-founder of Wikipedia.
Yeah. American British internet entrepreneur, webmaster, and formal financial trader. Wikipedia.
Well, thanks to him, a lot of people have gotten through school without studying just by Wikipedia and stuff.
Yeah. You know, there's a book that I read, and it's called What Motivates People. And so in that book, they talk about you remember when I first got my computer, the first computer I got, that compact?
Yeah.
With that whole video introduction and the free Weezer video at at Arnold's Diner from Happy Days.
Yeah.
You remember that? So that came with a CD, and it was an encyclopedia. Do you remember?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it came with an encyclopedia. I think it was called Encarta or something like that by Microsoft. So both Encarta and Wikipedia launched at the same time. And in the book, What Motivates People, he talks about how Microsoft threw like millions and millions of dollars behind Encarta. And, you know, they paid a lot of people to produce this, you know, disc that would have like a whole set of encyclopedias that you can, you know, look up. Had search capability, you know, nice articles, just like having a whole encyclopedia set of books, right? And, you know, Wikipedia launches, and it wasn't the money that made Encarta. It was the fact that people were allowed to do whatever, they were allowed to work when they wanted to work with whom they wanted to work, at, you know, and focus on what they wanted to work on. Where, you know, that's what was allowed with Wikipedia. Where with Encarta had like, hey, you have to be here at 9, you get out of work at 5, you know, that regular 9 to 5 jobs. And they were told what to write, you know, who to work with, where to get the information, you know, and stuff like that. But what the book points out is that if you give people the freedom to be creative, you're going to get tons more work. And this book was written long after Encarta, was ended. The whole Encarta program, the encyclopedia program, ended. And so, in the book, he says, like, we all know the end of that story, how it turned out, with Wikipedia being the winner of encyclopedias,
The world's largest.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't pay anybody to do any of this. People have done all this for free.
Just shows the power of the people.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
It shows the power of if you provide flexibility. The moment you tell people what to do, they lose interest. So Wikipedia pretty much was created for free by people.
Yeah. Cool. Jimmy Wales, thanks for being influential.
That's right. And he also has a blog.
Oh, wow. That's him in his younger days.
I think so. Yeah, he's got quite a few things going here. Uh-oh, is the magazine dead? Yeah, I like to turn the page on a magazine here and there. About Jimmy. This is not what he looks like in Wikipedia. Hey, look at this. The guy looks like Cecil the turtle, and it's Wikipedia. Over here, he looks like a young. Who's the guy from When Harry Met Sally?
Oh man, I don't know.
He looks like a young version of him. Cool. I think that's it, huh?
Yeah, that's all we have for tech birthdays this week.
Until next time. Peace out.